So, what if I told you that every single person has the power to be and build confidence from within? Would you believe me? Thumbs up if you agree. Keep your thumbs up if you feel like you have true inner confidence from within. A few hands went down, a few thumbs went up. Typical. I firmly believe that every single person can build confidence from within because it's what I had to do for myself. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me so you can understand why I'm so passionate about confidence and why I talk about it all the time. So when I was younger, I hated school. I cried every day, and I didn't want to be there. I was bullied from, junior kindergarten until grade 2. And when I changed schools in grade 3, luck was on my side because I didn't plan to change schools, but I changed schools in grade 3. But I had the mentality of let me hurt them before they hurt me, which is, I think, a natural mindset for any young person who's been bullied. So first day of grade 3, I walk into the classroom. I'm the only new kid. I'm the only fat kid. I'm the only person of color. Okay? I want to be the bully, and obviously I didn't make any friends. That didn't make me feel good, because hopefully by the end of this talk, you'll understand that I'm all about positive vibes and leading with love and being a good friend. So luck was on my side once again in some way, shape, or form, and I switched schools in grade 4. First day of grade 4, I walk into the classroom. I'm the only new kid, I'm the only fat kid, I'm the only person of color. And everyone's making fun of me and bullying me and snickering and laughing. And I remember just going to the washroom and just bawling my eyes out, like sobbing, and you have snot everywhere and your face is a mess. One of those cries, right? We've all been there. I'm getting nods, okay, perfect. And I'm only in grade 4, so I'm roughly like 8 years old. And I have a moment and I pause, and I knew that I couldn't call my mom and dad already because they'd left for work. And nothing gives a bully more fuel than parents showing up to work to help that kid out. So I take a deep breath, and I remember I have friends from around my neighborhood, I have friends from other locations, I have friends from, school and my other classes and my neighborhood. So this one classroom isn't the end all be all. So I wipe my tears away and I look at myself in the mirror, and I distinctly remember saying to myself, you've done this before, you'll do this again, you have friends. So I head back down to the classroom, wiping my tears, but I still keep thinking, what is it that I can do differently? I've been bullied, I've been the bully. What is it that I can do differently? And I don't know what happened. Maybe something hit me, call it my higher intuition, higher power, whatever resonates for you. But something just told me to go around the room and introduce myself to every single kid and learn their name and something about them. So I did. At that point, I really had nothing to lose. And what happened was that they were disarmed. I had taken away their preconceived notions, and it was much harder to be mean to someone when you start to learn a bit about them. Again, I'm only 8 years old, but this is really the beginning of me learning how to build from within. So I went on to switch schools about 5 more times. So I guess you could say I was getting pretty good at making new friends. Yes and no, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But by the time I got to grade 10, I switched schools 5 times. And this had been the tool that I'd been bringing with me everywhere I went. And this is the beginning of me building your toolbox. And I'll reference the toolbox a few times. So just quickly to tell you what a toolbox means to me, and you can take what it means for you, is doing the things that help you feel at your best. We all have them. If you're in this room right now, you've overcome something. And so sometimes we just forget to bring what helped us overcome something to the now. So your toolbox is whatever that might be. Your imagination, maybe the things that helped you overcome something you're hiding in the bottom of your bag or your purse or your jacket pocket from last winter. Bring them to the forefront, because what helped you then can help you now. So your tools, we all have them, and I encourage everyone to build their own. So my tool was going around the room and introducing everybody and introducing myself to everyone. So first day of grade 10, I walk into the classroom. Once again, I'm the only new kid, I'm the only fat kid, I'm the only person of color. But what also happened by grade 10 is that I was over 600 pounds. 600 pounds. I was considered morbidly obese. So friends, family, my parents, for sure thought I was going to be bullied, because nothing is harder than switching at that age. Nothing is harder than switching schools in the middle of grade 10. But a little bit more difficult when you're also considered morbidly obese. So once again, I'm in the classroom and I keep thinking, okay, I got to figure this out. But what do you think I did? I brought out my tool, and I went around the room and I introduced myself to every single kid and learned their name and something about them. And once again, I disarmed them. And that's a lot harder to do in grade 10, mind you, and took away the preconceived notions. But I really had to practice what I preach. If I was in grade 12, I saw grade 9 getting bullied, I would go talk to that grade 9. You really have to embody it. And by the end of grade 12, I went on to become voted prom queen and most popular kid in school. And none of those things matter because now I'm at the tender age of 36. But I share that with you as a reminder that it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or how you identify, confidence is only something you can build from within. And every single person has access and the power to build it within themselves. And that's truly what I've built my career off of for the last 15 years. Saying that makes me feel a little bit old, but I'm embracing it. Okay, so I want to go over a couple of the tips and tools that you can embed into your life, hopefully starting today. The things that I've learned along my journey that I've been practicing for the last, well, since I was in grade 4. And I always share that with you because I really feel that it was changed the entire trajectory of my whole life. And now I'm a 3-time certified life coach, motivational speaker, and I've had the pleasure of work with some incredible companies and parents and teachers and people just like you, because every single person has good days and bad days. So I want to talk about 3 things that I think that can help each and every person to build confidence from within. I definitely believe that there's a lot more, but for today, I want to focus on just 3. So number 1, joy. When we think about joy, if I were to ask you, what are the things that bring you joy right now? Could you list me 3 things? Give me a thumbs up if the answer is yes. Okay, about half the room. That's pretty good. But I would love for that to be 2 thumbs up from every single person, because we all have access to joy. But what I've realized in my work over the last 15 years is that a lot of people confuse joy and happiness. Now, joy is really something you can only give to yourself, whereas happiness you can find in a variety of things. And so as we get older, especially, life, career, bills, building a family, joy is one of the first things to fall on the back burner. So an easy way to get you in the mindset of thinking about, okay, what can bring me joy if you don't know, and that's okay, is thinking about your hobbies. When we were kids, when we were younger, we had hobbies. We did things that just was for us. It didn't matter the outcome or what other people thought. Let's bring that back. I want you to take some time to think about what is something that you used to do that bring you joy that you haven't done in a long time, and bring that back into your wheelhouse. I was working with a client, a very successful woman, a CEO, and I asked her what brings her joy, and she took about 5 minutes to think about it. After 5 minutes, she said painting. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing, great. When's the last time you painted? And she said 10 years ago. What? If painting brings you joy and you haven't done it in 10 years, what? And so now at the end of a long day, she'll paint before hanging out with her kids, because that allows her to move through the energy of her day, shift the frustration, the anger, the overwhelm, the stress, whatever she might be experiencing, so that she can show up joyfully to hang out with her young kids, because that was a goal for her. And that makes me really excited. That makes me fired up. So when she shared that with me, I was like, it could be that simple. Okay, so tapping into the things that bring you joy, build your confidence because you feel good about yourself and what you're doing, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So it's very foundational. Number 2, language. I bet most people are thinking, okay, yeah, I've heard of this. Like, what do you mean by language? Well, if we all have heard that thoughts create action, what is it that creates thoughts? Language. So if every single day you were talking to yourself poorly, even if you don't recognize that it's poor, what do you think's happening when you're sleeping? You sleep, I sleep, we sleep, but our brains don't sleep. Our brains are constantly awake, processing things, moving memories to long-term or short-term, removing toxins, etc. So that's why it's really important for us to all be mindful of the language we were using when we were talking to ourselves or about ourselves, and of course about others all the time. I think we all can recognize that, dumb, stupid, ugly, fat are negative words. But what about what I like to call the sneaky words? Like need, should, have. If I were to say to you, what's something that you feel like doing tomorrow? And if you were to immediately say, I need to do this, you're disempowered. Because you always have a choice within reason. But if you say, I will, I'm going to. For example, I've lost over 300 pounds since high school. And if I thought to myself every single day, you have to go to the gym, you need to lose weight, would I be as motivated? Or I could say, what about losing 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, just movement, just taking care of yourself? That was able to keep me motivated. So this is how language is so powerful. It builds the foundation of how you talk to yourself, which then in turn helps you with how you feel about yourself. So those sneaky words again are need, should, and have. And one time I was working with a client and I said, what's one thing you're proud of? And he said, I think I'm proud of this. I said, okay, that sounds pretty good. What if we removed the I think? And all of a sudden his shoulders got more prominent. His eye contact was more clear. And he said, I am proud of. And I said, which one feels better? And I bet you all know which one he said felt better. And all we did was change two words. And we all have access to that. So really being mindful of the language you were using when you were talking to yourself or about yourself. And then I want to quickly tie that into comparisons. Because when we're talking about, we all have self-talk. If you're right here right now, you have a brain and we all have self-talk. We all can understand negative self-talk, which I spoke to a little bit about, and positive self-talk. We all have it. And so when we were able to better manage our self-talk, that is going to change how we actually show up in the world. And that's why it's such a big foundation in how we build our confidence. I love building confidence by affirmations. The more you say it, the more you feel it, the more you believe it. So every single day I would say to myself, I know I am healthy. And that to me helped keep me motivated. So it's important for you to all create your own words and language and tips that work best for you. Okay, so positive self-talk, negative self-talk, language, we got it. Let's go into number 3, which is boundaries. And most people are like, whoa, I would never have thought that boundaries would be something that would help me build confidence. Well, let me tell you. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit tricky because boundaries can be a little bit tricky. So I'll break it down into a few ways. Number 1, boundaries help you respect yourself and help you teach others how to respect you. Sounds pretty good. And things get tricky because when someone doesn't honor the boundaries that you've created for yourself, the chances of us upholding that boundary decrease significantly. Because I don't want to argue with you, I don't want to be combative, I'll just leave it. But when we don't honor the boundaries we've set for ourselves, this little tricky thing is impacted. And that tiny thing is called self-trust. Because you know the difference when you've honored your boundary, you're slowly building that self-trust within yourself. And when you're building self-trust within yourself, you're also building your confidence. So boundaries are really key, and I love to say this a couple of times, because boundaries keep you control of how other people show up in your life. I'll say that again. Boundaries keep you in control of how other people show up in your life. That doesn't mean we have to cut everybody off or hate everybody or be negative. What it means is we decide how we want others to be in our lives. When I was losing weight and some people didn't honor that or didn't respect that, I didn't hang out with those people. Those are the people that I'm going to call when I need to go to the gym or when I want to go for a walk rather than going out at night. But are those people still people who are maybe acquaintances? Yes, and that's okay. So building my confidence within allows me to be on the stage, to be a confident person. And I may not look like the most ideal person that's confident, and that is exactly the point. Because every single person can build confidence from within. So I want to leave you with this. What is one thing that you can do starting today to help you build your confidence from within? Because that'll help you and how you want to show up in the world as your best self. Thanks for coming to my TEDx talk.